Captain Nora Vega stood on the bridge of the Starship Horizon, her eyes fixed on the vast expanse of space before her. The ship's engines hummed softly, a comforting constant in the endless void. Nora's years of experience had taught her to expect the unexpected, but nothing could have prepared her for what lay ahead. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous reading," Lieutenant Zain Rashid called out, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "It's unlike anything I've ever seen." Nora leaned over Zain's shoulder, her brow furrowing as she studied the data. "Can you pinpoint its location?" "Yes, ma'am. It's coming from a nearby asteroid field, about half a light-year from our current position." "Set a course, Lieutenant. Let's investigate." As the horizon approached the source of the signal, the crew's excitement grew palpable. They had embarked on this deep space exploration mission hoping to make new discoveries, but this felt different. Something big was waiting for them. The asteroid field came into view, a sprawling collection of space rocks tumbling through the darkness. But among the asteroids, something else caught Nora's eye. Massive shapes, too angular and uniform to be natural formations. "My God," whispered Commander Ethan Reeves, the ship's executive officer. "Are those ships?" Nora nodded, her heart racing. "An entire fleet. Scan for life signs." Zane's fingers flew over the controls. "Negative, Captain. No life signs detected. But these ships, they're ancient. The technology is far beyond anything we've ever encountered." "Prepare a boarding party," Nora ordered. "I want to see this up close." Within minutes, Nora led a team onto the largest of the derelict vessels. The interior was dark and silent, the air stale but breathable. As they moved deeper into the ship, their flashlights revealed intricate designs etched into the walls, telling the story of a long-lost civilization. "This is incredible," breathed Dr. Lyra Chen, the team's xenoarchaeologist. "These markings, they're not just decorative. They're a language, a history." As they reached what appeared to be the ship's bridge, Nora felt a chill run down her spine. The technology here was beyond anything humanity had achieved, yet it lay dormant, waiting. "Can we power it up?" Nora asked, turning to their engineer, Finn O'Brien. Finn studied the alien consoles, his expression a mix of awe and determination. "I think so, Captain. But we need to be careful. We don't know what might happen." Nora nodded. "Do it." As Finn worked, the rest of the team explored the bridge, uncovering more of the ship's secrets. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air, and the consoles flickered to life. "I've done it!" Finn exclaimed. "We're in." But their excitement was short-lived. As the systems came online, a message began to play, an alien voice filled with urgency and fear. Dr. Chen listened intently, her translation software working overtime. "Captain," she said, her voice trembling. "They're warning us. This fleet, it was built to fight a terrible enemy. An enemy that nearly wiped them out." Nora felt the weight of the discovery settling on her shoulders. "What enemy?" Before Dr. Chen could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Finn's eyes widened as he read the displays. "Captain, the ship's sending out a signal. It's broadcasting our location." Nora's blood ran cold. To whom? The answer came in the form of a massive energy signature appearing on their scanners. Something was coming. Something big. "Everyone back to the horizon, now." Nora ordered, her voice cutting through the panic. As they raced back to their ship, Nora's mind whirled with the implications of their discovery. They had stumbled upon an ancient weapon, a key to humanity's survival or its doom. As the horizon broke away from the asteroid field, the first of the enemy ships began to appear. Dark, ominous shapes that seemed to devour the light around them. Nora gripped the arms of her captain's chair, her jaw set with determination. "Battle stations," she commanded. "And get me Earth Command. They need to know what we've found." As the Horizon prepared for the fight of its life, Nora knew that this was just the beginning. They had uncovered a secret that would change the course of human history forever. The revolution had begun, sparked by an ancient fleet hidden among the stars. As the Starland docked at Terran Command, Captain Nora Vega and her crew were hailed as heroes. The discovery of the ancient Caller fleet had sent shockwaves through human space, igniting a fervor of excitement and trepidation. Nora, however, felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. The knowledge they had uncovered carried immense potential, but also great danger. In the days that followed, Nora found herself in endless debriefings and strategy meetings. The Terran Council, initially divided on how to proceed, now seemed united in their determination to unlock the secrets of the Caller technology. Scientists and engineers from across human space were being recruited to study the data they had retrieved. Lieutenant Zain Rashid approached Nora as she exited yet another council session. "Captain, we've made a breakthrough in deciphering the Caller language," he reported, his eyes bright with excitement. Dr. Chen believes we're close to accessing their historical archives. Nora nodded, a glimmer of hope sparking in her chest. "Excellent work, Zain. Maybe now we'll get some answers about what happened to the Caller and who these hack really are." As they made their way to the research lab, Nora couldn't help but marvel at the transformation that had taken place. The once quiet facility now buzzed with activity, filled with the brightest minds humanity had to offer. At the center of it all stood Dr. Lyra Chen, her holographic displays filled with alien symbols and diagrams. "Captain Vega," Dr. Chen greeted, her voice tinged with barely contained excitement. "We've managed to access a significant portion of the Caller historical records. What we found is, well, it's both fascinating and terrifying." Nora steeled herself. "Tell me everything, Doctor." Dr. Chen nodded, bringing up a series of holographic images. The Caller were once a peaceful, highly advanced civilization. They had achieved technological marvels beyond our wildest dreams. But then, they encountered the hack. The holograms shifted, showing dark, ominous ships that sent a chill down Nora's spine. The hack were unlike anything the Caller had ever encountered. Aggressive, relentless, and technologically superior. The Caller tried to negotiate, but the hack were interested only in conquest and destruction. As Dr. Chen continued her explanation, Nora felt a growing sense of dread. The Caller had fought valiantly, but in the end, they had been overwhelmed. Their final act had been to hide their remaining fleet, hoping that one day, someone would find it and use it to stand against the hack. "So, we've inherited their war," Nora said softly, the implications sinking in. Dr. Chen nodded grimly. "It seems so, Captain. But we've also inherited their legacy. The Caller technology, if we can fully understand and implement it, could give us a fighting chance." As Nora left the lab, her mind raced with possibilities and dangers. She knew that humanity now stood at a crossroads. The knowledge they had gained could propel them to new heights, but it also painted a target on their backs. The hack were out there, and sooner or later, they would come. Over the next few weeks, progress on understanding and implementing Caller technology accelerated. The Starland, as the ship that had made the initial discovery, became a testbed for new innovations. Nora watched with pride as her crew adapted to each new change, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Commander Ethan Reeves approached Nora on the bridge, his face a mix of excitement and concern. "Captain, we've just received word from the outer colonies. There have been sightings of unknown ships at the edge of our territory. The descriptions match what we know of hack vessels." Nora's heart raced, but she kept her voice steady. "It seems our time is running out. How combat ready are we, Commander?" "We're at about 60% integration of Caller tech, Captain. It's not ideal, but it's better than we were a month ago." Nora nodded, her decision made. "Alert Terran Command. We're taking the Starland out to investigate these sightings. If the hack are testing our defenses, I want to be there to meet them." As the Starland prepared for departure, Nora addressed her crew. She saw determination in their eyes, mixed with fear of the unknown. "We stand at the threshold of a new era," she began. "The challenges ahead are great, but so is our resolve. We carry with us not just the hopes of humanity, but the legacy of the caller. Together, we will face whatever comes our way." The Starland broke away from the station, its engines pulsing with newfound power. As they set course for the outer colonies, Nora couldn't shake the feeling that they were heading towards a confrontation that would determine the fate of humanity. The revolution she had inadvertently sparked was about to face its first true test. The Starland glided through the inky blackness of space, its newly integrated collar technology humming with potential. Captain Nora Vega stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the vast expanse before her. The recent victory at Outpost Theta had bolstered the crew's spirits, but Nora knew the war was far from over. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Tehran Command," Lieutenant Zain Rashid called out, his fingers dancing across the control panel. Nora nodded. "Put it through, Lieutenant." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the stern face of Admiral Jackson. "Captain Vega, we have a situation. Our long-range sensors have detected a massive hack fleet assembling near the Epsilon sector. It's larger than anything we've encountered before." Nora's heart raced, but her voice remained steady. "Understood, Admiral. What are our orders?" "We're mobilizing every available ship. The Starland will lead a task force to engage the hack before they can reach our core systems. You'll rendezvous with our allies at these coordinates." As the transmission ended, Nora turned to her crew. "You heard the Admiral. Set course for the rendezvous point, maximum speed." The journey to the coordinates was tense, the crew working tirelessly to prepare for the impending battle. Dr. Lyra Chen and her team of scientists labored around the clock, fine-tuning the collar weapons systems. As they approached the rendezvous point, a breathtaking sight greeted them. Dozens of ships from various allied species had gathered, their diverse designs a testament to the coalition that had formed in the face of the hack threat. A transmission came through, and the face of Zorak, the Drell ambassador, appeared on screen. "Captain Vega, it is good to see you. The Drell fleet stands ready to fight alongside you." Nora smiled. "Thank you, Ambassador. We're stronger together." The combined fleet moved towards the Epsilon sector, tension mounting with each passing moment. Suddenly, alarms blared across the Starland's bridge. Multiple hyperspace signatures detected. Zane shouted. "It's the hack fleet." The void of space erupted into chaos as the hack armada emerged from hyperspace. Their ships, dark and menacing, filled the view screen, their numbers even greater than intelligence had suggested. "All ships, battle formations." Nora commanded, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Remember your training. We've beaten them before, and we'll do it again." The Allied fleet surged forward, meeting the hack head-on. Energy weapons lit up the darkness, and explosions bloomed like deadly flowers in the vacuum of space. The Starland, at the forefront of the attack, unleashed its collar-enhanced weaponry, cutting through hack ships with unprecedented efficiency. But the hack were relentless. For every ship they lost, two more seemed to take its place. The battle raged on, with neither side willing to give ground. "Captain, our shields are down to 30%. Commander Ethan Reeves reported, his voice strained. Nora gritted her teeth. "Divert power from non-essential systems. We need to hold the line." As the battle reached its fever pitch, a massive hack vessel emerged from the chaos. It dwarfed even the largest ships in the Allied fleet, its weapon systems glowing with ominous energy. "What is that thing?" Zane whispered, his eyes wide with fear. Dr. Chen's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain, I'm detecting energy readings off the charts. Whatever that ship is, it's unlike anything we've seen before. The hack superweapon charged, its energy building to catastrophic levels." In a blinding flash, it released a devastating pulse that tore through space, disabling several Allied ships in its wake. Evasive maneuvers. Nora shouted, but it was too late. The pulse struck the Starland, overloading its systems and sending the crew reeling. As Nora pulled herself up from the floor, she surveyed the damage. The bridge was in chaos, consoles sparking and alarms blaring. But amidst the destruction, she saw determination in the eyes of her crew. "Status report," she demanded, her voice steady despite the dire situation. "Main power is offline," Ethan reported. "We're running on auxiliaries. Weapons and shields are down." Nora's mind raced, searching for a solution. They were outgunned and outmatched, but she refused to give up. The fate of humanity and their allies hung in the balance. "Dr. Chen," she called out. "Is there any way we can use the collar technology to counter that superweapon?" There was a moment of silence before Chen's voice came through, filled with cautious hope. "There might be. The collar data we uncovered mentioned a theoretical defense against such weapons. But it's risky, and we've never tested it." Nora didn't hesitate. "Do it. It's our only chance." As Chen and her team worked feverishly to implement the untested collar defense, the battle raged on around them. Allied ships fought valiantly, but they were being overwhelmed by the sheer might of the hack armada. "Captain, we're ready," Chen's voice came through, tinged with exhaustion and uncertainty. "But I must warn you, this could either save us or tear the ship apart." Nora took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her decision. "Understood. Activate the defense." The Starland hummed with energy as the collar system came online. A shimmering field enveloped the ship, just as the hack superweapon prepared to fire again. The pulse struck, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. Then, miraculously, the energy dissipated around the Starland, leaving the ship unscathed. "It worked!" Chen exclaimed. "The defense is holding." Nora allowed herself a brief smile before turning to her crew. "This is our chance. Transmit the defense specifications to the Allied fleet. We're taking the fight back to the hack." As the Allied ships implemented the collar defense, the tide of battle began to turn. The hack superweapon, once their trump card, was now rendered ineffective. The Starland, leading the charge, pushed deeper into the hack formation. Nora's voice rang out across the comms, rallying the Allied forces. "This is our moment. For our homes, for our future, push them back." The battle raged on, but now hope burned bright in the hearts of the Allied forces. The awakening threat of the hack had been met with the indomitable spirit of a united galaxy, and the stars themselves seemed to bear witness to this pivotal moment in history. As the battle raged on, Nora realized that defeating the hack wasn't just about firepower. They needed to understand their enemy to truly overcome them. She turned to Dr. Chen, who had been tirelessly analyzing the hack technology throughout the conflict. "Dr. Chen, what have you learned about the hack? There must be something in their technology, their tactics, that we can exploit," Nora asked, her eyes never leaving the tactical display. Chen's voice crackled over the comms, filled with excitement and trepidation. "Captain, I've been cross-referencing the collar data with our observations of the hack. There's something strange about their ships. They're not just machines, they're almost alive." Nora's brow furrowed. "Alive? What do you mean?" "The hack ships seem to have some sort of organic component," Chen explained. "It's as if they've merged their biology with their technology. This could be why they're so adaptable, but it might also be their weakness." A plan began to form in Nora's mind. If their ships are part organic, then maybe we can target that aspect. "Zane, can we modify our weapons to emit a frequency that might disrupt their biotech?" Zane's fingers flew over his console. "It's possible, Captain. We'd need to recalibrate our energy weapons, but with the collar tech, we might just be able to pull it off." "Do it," Nora ordered. and transmit the modifications to the rest of the fleet. We need to hit them all at once for maximum effect. As the Allied fleet worked to implement the new strategy, the hack pressed their attack. Their ships moved with an eerie synchronicity, almost as if they were part of a single organism. "Captain, we're ready," Zane reported. "On your command." Nora took a deep breath. This was their chance to turn the tide once and for all. "All ships, fire on my mark. 3, 2, 1, now." The Allied fleet unleashed a barrage of modified energy weapons. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, suddenly, the hack ships began to falter. Their movements became erratic, their formations breaking apart. "It's working!" Ethan exclaimed. "Their ships are losing cohesion." Nora allowed herself a moment of triumph before refocusing. "Press the advantage. Target their command ships." The battle shifted dramatically. The once unstoppable hack armada was now in disarray. Allied ships picked off the confused and disoriented enemy vessels one by one. As the conflict reached its climax, the massive hack flagship loomed before them. Despite the chaos around it, it remained a formidable threat. "Captain," Chen's voice came through, urgent and determined. "I think I've figured out how to completely shut down their systems. But we'd need to get aboard their flagship to implement it." Nora knew what had to be done. "Prepare a boarding party. I'll lead it myself." "Captain, that's too risky," Ethan protested. "We don't have a choice," Nora replied, her voice firm. "This is our chance to end this war once and for all." As the Starland maneuvered closer to the hack flagship, Nora addressed her crew one last time. "No matter what happens, remember this, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every sentient being in this galaxy. The hack sought to dominate and destroy. We stand for freedom and cooperation. Let's show them the true strength of unity." With those words, Nora led her team onto the hack flagship, ready to face whatever alien horrors awaited them. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the final chapter of this cosmic conflict was about to be written. The interior of the hack flagship was a nightmarish blend of organic and mechanical components. Pulsing veins of energy ran through walls that seemed to breathe, and the air was thick with an acrid, alien scent. Nora led her team through the twisting corridors, their weapons at the ready. "Stay alert," she whispered. "We don't know what kind of defenses they have in here." As they progressed deeper into the ship, they encountered sporadic resistance from hack defenders. The alien warriors were formidable, their bodies augmented with cybernetic enhancements, but Nora's team fought with the desperation of those who knew the fate of their civilization hung in the balance. Finally, they reached what appeared to be the ship's central control chamber. A massive, pulsating organ dominated the center of the room, tendrils of energy connecting it to various consoles and machinery. "That must be their central processor," Dr. Chen said, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and revulsion. "If we can shut it down, we should be able to disable their entire fleet." Nora nodded. "Get to work. We'll cover you." As Chen and her team began to interface with the alien technology, the ship shuddered violently. Ethan's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain, the hack are making a final push. We can't hold them off much longer." Nora gritted her teeth. "We need more time. Hold the line, Commander. We're almost there." The minutes ticked by agonizingly slowly as Chen worked. Nora and her team fought off wave after wave of hack defenders, their ammunition running low. Just as it seemed they would be overwhelmed, Chen shouted triumphantly. "I've got it. Initiating shutdown sequence now." The effect was immediate and dramatic. The pulsating organ in the center of the room began to dim, its rhythmic beats becoming erratic. Throughout the ship, systems began to fail. "We need to get out of here now," Nora ordered. "This whole ship is going to come apart." They fought their way back to their shuttle, the hack flagship crumbling around them. As they sped away, Nora watched through the viewscreen as the massive alien vessel began to break apart. Across the battlefield, hack ships were going dark, their crews left helpless as their technology failed them. The Allied fleet, seizing the opportunity, moved in to secure victory. As the dust settled and the last of the hack resistance was mopped up, a sense of disbelief settled over the Allied forces. They had done it. Against all odds, they had defeated an enemy that had seemed invincible. In the days that followed, as the Allied races began the process of rebuilding, Nora found herself standing before the Galactic Council. Representatives from dozens of species, many of whom had been bitter enemies not long ago, now sat side by side. Captain Nora Vega, the council speaker began, "Your actions have saved not just humanity, but countless civilizations across our galaxy. The defeat of the hack marks the beginning of a new era of cooperation and understanding between our peoples." Nora stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. "Thank you, but I didn't do this alone. This victory belongs to every being who stood up against tyranny and oppression. We've proven that our differences are our strength, not our weakness. Together, there's no challenge we can't overcome." As applause filled the chamber, Nora looked out at the faces of her crew, her allies, and her former enemies. She saw hope there, and determination. The galaxy had been forever changed, not just by the defeat of the hack, but by the bonds forged in the crucible of war. The threat was over, but their journey was just beginning. There were new frontiers to explore, new challenges to face. But now, they would face them together. As the Starland prepared for its next mission, Nora stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. The universe stretched out before them, vast and full of possibilities. Whatever came next, she knew that they were ready. The revolution she had sparked had changed the course of history, and the best was yet to come. The end of one chapter, but the beginning of a grand new adventure.